Hey everybody, this is a quick little video. We're going to show it, talk about it, break it down a little bit. But this comes out of Vacaville Police Department. They get a call of a party chasing someone down the road with a gun, associated with a white Chrysler of some kind, they believe. Officers spot a white vehicle traveling down the road, no headlights on. They go to initiate the traffic stop, and this is what occurs.
Stop! Gun, gun, gun! Gun! Flip tail gun!
So what you see is the vehicle pulls over, the passenger bails out. Apparently he's got a gun in his hand, and the officer relays that information. I assume he's speaking into his dispatch, to his radio. Now, kind of interesting about this is, and I'm not really sure the specifics because the story does not go directly released from the police department, does not go into too much detail, but a sheriff vehicle does drive by first. Does not seem very interested in what's going on. I don't know if they waved him away and said, hey, just keep going or whatever. Sometimes, you pull something over, you're like, go for it, and then they drive away. That does happen. I don't know what occurred here, but the vehicle does drive away. And then the driver, as they pull over, passenger bails, driver then takes off. Now, what you're going to see is there's a second police vehicle with this officer that appears to kind of go after that car, or at least continues in that direction. What this officer does, that's recorded, that the camera is coming from, deploys a drone. And you're going to see some of that footage. So the suspect's hiding, drones spotted him, they got a canine out, and you're going to see that footage here in a second.
Stop! Drop down on your knees!
So they're making contact with him, giving him orders. And then what they do is they recover a firearm. So with the drone, they're able to see this, apparently this firearm on a roof, and they go and recover the firearm. It's going to be a 30-round magazine, so 31 rounds in total. So I watched this, I kind of broke it down in my head and kind of what I wanted to talk about on here, but it's phenomenal use of technology. So on the last episode of the podcast, I talked about utilizing drones. We saw that in the video of the barricaded person inside the grappled car. And so that's amazing. The infrared, the thermal vision, whoa, I love that. I have a thermal camera. I have it, it goes on my cell phone, and I've flown drones before. I've never had a thermal drone, but that is amazing. That footage is great. Now, one thing to touch on as kind of we'll call it procedure or tactic or whatever you want to call it. If you are stopping a vehicle as a police officer, and let's say instead of the passenger jumping out, the driver jumps out and goes one way. Now, most police departments train their people to stay with the vehicle initially. So you want to make sure that there's no other suspects in the vehicle. You want to make sure there's no victims, there's no weapons, there's nothing of concern, a bomb, whatever, that you need to relay to other people that are hopefully going to be chasing after this person running. Same thing here. So passenger runs and the vehicle takes off. Now, this officer stays with the passenger because they bailed. The other officer gets behind the vehicle that takes off. So you've got a split of kind of coverage. And like I said, if the driver takes off and there's a passenger still sitting in the vehicle, I'm staying with the vehicle. That's me personally. That's how I would do it. And I'll let everybody else go after the driver. If a driver takes off, so I pull a vehicle over, driver takes off, and I can see there's no one in the car, I'd run up, clear the car real quick, and then chase after the driver. And that's just to make sure that we don't have issues. I know guys that have had drivers take off, they run after the driver, and when they come back, the car's gone. And so what happened was, passenger in the car climbs over and drives away. And so you don't want that to happen. You don't want them to jump in your car and take your car either. So you have to be aware of this vehicle, that it is a target, and it could be a problem. The vehicle takes off, car's not a problem for this officer anymore. Problem is now shifted to individual with the firearm that he saw. He needs to deal with that, and that's fantastic. And then this other vehicle gets behind it. We'll play one more time. And so this vehicle here is behind we'll call it suspect vehicle. Suspect vehicle takes off. I don't know what happened, because in the story it says that the vehicle was later recovered empty. and it is registered to the passenger that jumped out. They don't know who was driving it, they said. So I'm not really sure. Did they cancel a pursuit? Did they try to pursue it? Did they just let it go? I don't know. There's no information on that. But generally speaking, depending on charges, it's going to dictate whether you chase. Traffic, weather, all that's going to dictate whether you chase. This guy's got his headlights off or all his lights off. That may factor into whether they chase. So I don't know what happened with that, but clearly we got our passenger. Clearly we got a firearm, and it sounds like a good day. So good job, officers, and keep sending me these videos. I'm going to keep making. Have a good one, guys.